All right, everyone, welcome back to another amazing episode of Strange Famous 2024 edition. I am here with Brayden Adams.
Hi, everybody.
This guy knows everything and more about Rubik's Cubes than the average bear, for sure, and holds quite a few little titles, I believe. So we're going to get into that in a few minutes here. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Stand out with bold, original content. At Medina Media Productions, we craft creative, engaging posts, manage your social media, and drive real leads that convert. From eye-catching visuals to scroll-stopping videos, we bring your brand to life. Let's turn followers into customers. The Green Energy 360 process can help you with code compliance, reducing your energy consumption, and even optimizing clean energy use. Learn more by visiting green-energy360.com.
Relax, recharge, and refresh with Sweet Buds Dispensary, where quality meets care. From premium products to expert advice, we're here to help you find your perfect vibe. Experience Maryland's trusted source for wellness. Sweet Buds Dispensary, the natural choice.
All right, guys, we're back. I'm here again, your host, Caroline Hutchison, and this is Strange Famous 2024. We are talking to Brayden Adams.
Hi, everybody.
He's here visiting us from West Virginia, right?
Yes, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.
Harpers Ferry, one of my favorite places in this area.
I
love hiking out there.
Oh, yeah.
I love going out there and
Such
sightseeing.
a beautiful area.
Yeah. How old are you?
So I'm 18. I turned 18 this summer.
Okay.
Yes.
You just graduated from high school?
I'm a senior in high school.
You're a senior
Yes.
this year.
Yeah,
Wow.
exciting time.
I think you're the first high schooler I've had
Really?
on the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's a title.
Good
Yes.
job.
Yeah.
Well, you're here for a pretty cool reason. You contacted me.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So he reached out to me and he's like, hey, I'm kind of a big deal, and I really think you should have me on your show. And I was like, oh, really? What do you have to say to the world about all the, are these all called Rubik's Cubes? Or
I
they
like
all have
puzzles.
a different name?
They're more commonly known as twisty puzzles.
Okay.
Any puzzle that can twist, they're pretty much all 3D puzzles. So the most common twisty puzzle is the Rubik's Cube that I think pretty much everybody in the U.S. and around the world has seen a Rubik's Cube at some point. I know everyone has their own opinions on Rubik's Cubes. I think more people than not have the opinion that they just want to throw one at a wall. And
I've never solved one in my
they're
life.
not hard to learn how to solve. Really taking about a good week or two to really spend time focusing on and dedicating time to one, you can solve one. But so that's kind of...
It doesn't take you a week, though.
No. Much less time. When I first started, yeah. But I've been a lover of all things puzzles for 7 years, and it's been a great experience so far, and I've enjoyed sharing it with people.
So, all right. All these, the basic Rubik's Cube is like this one,
yes,
right?
So
that's the average.
Yes, so the average Rubik's Cube is a 3x3 puzzle because it's, 3x3x3 because it's 3 layers by 3 layers by 3 layers. Mm-hmm. And then you obviously have they're called n by n's, so different sizes. So you have the 2x2 because it's 1-2 by 1-2 layers. Mm-hmm. And these stem all the way up. We have 4x4 here. This is a 7x7. This is who I like to call Big Nancy. This is my 9x9 puzzle. A little fun fact about this guy. There are more ways, I need to fact check this, so I might not be 100% right, but I believe there are more ways to scramble this puzzle than there are grains of sand on the earth.
What?
Because there are 4 million, so there are 4 million ways to scramble the 2x2. There are 43 quintillion ways to scramble a 3x3. And if you continue with that exponentially, you get up to a 9x9 puzzle with, so many combinations, and it just gets incredibly more difficult. And we also have some different types of puzzles. This is a Rubik's clock. The goal is to, I don't know how well be able to see, but there are tiny little dials. There are 9 of them on both sides, and the goal is to get them all facing 12. We also have a Megaminx. This is a dodecahedron puzzle. We have the Pyraminx, which is a tetrahedron. And then 2 other little fun puzzles, Scube and Square One. And they also turn different ways. So a lot of different puzzles that I've brought.
For people listening, I just wish you could see my face right now. I was like, this is insane. I didn't even know these existed.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not a normal, the pieces are different sizes.
Yes. So this
even
puzzle,
on this, what did you call her?
That's a 9x9, Big Nancy.
Big Nancy.
Yes.
Big Nancy's different sizes too.
Yes.
Like the internal pieces are really tiny squares, and then these are kind of like rectangles along the outside and then bigger squares on the corner.
Yeah. So the reason for that is that you take a 3x3, if you twist it at exactly 45 degrees, this piece right here needs to still stay onto the cube, right? So it's a lot easier for manufacturers to manufacture smaller cubes like this, so that I'll show everyone as well. You don't want this corner piece to fall off if you're mid-turn. Now, on a 9x9 or any higher order puzzles, that's a little more difficult because when you do half a turn, the piece sticks out a lot farther. So if this piece was the same size as these centerpieces, this piece, when you did any turn, would just fly out. So manufacturers have struggles with that, trying to make sure not only do the puzzles look really good, but they also can turn well too.
So tell me about competing in this.
Yes.
So how long have you been competing in Rubik's Cube?
I actually went to my first competition pretty soon after I learned how to solve one. It's a common misconception that you have to be really fast to go to a competition.
Okay.
That's not true at all. Competitions are just a great environment for people to get to, know other cubers, as like to call
make
ourselves.
Friends,
yeah.
That's cool.
So I went to my first competition in 2018. I was 11. On average, right around a minute for 3x3, which to the average person seems pretty great, but in the world of competitive competitions, 1 minute isn't super fast or anything. And I just got hooked on it, and I loved doing it, and I would go to them about once a month when I first started. And that was for about 2 years, and then obviously COVID hit, and it's a lot harder to go to competitions where you have to be touching other people's things and being in a room with people when there is a pandemic.
Right.
So competitions actually went virtual, and people would compete against each other from their own homes, and that was really something that I loved. I just loved the whole community came together. The great thing about going to competitions is that a lot of people who do Rubik's Cubes, and I know this is how I am personally, I always struggled to meet people and make friends in big environments where I didn't know people. And it's really difficult to do that if you don't know you have something in common with a person. But with Rubik's Cube solving, I mean, everybody's in the room and at a competition for this.
Right.
Everybody's there for that one reason. So it's really easy.
Or to have a common bond, right?
to have a common interest. So it's really, really easy to make friends. And I know I've met my best friends through Rubik's Cube solving, and I love going to competitions and getting to see them and getting to do fun stuff with them afterwards. So it's really
probably made friends all over the
all
place,
over the world. Seriously, and it's just a beautiful community that I love getting to share with people.
That's really dope. I'm excited to see you solve one.
Yeah. Do you want to scramble one up?
I think that would be, yeah. So just give it my best shot.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, my grandma had a few of these, and we would sit and mess with them. And I remember my uncle could always solve them. Me and my brother, never. I never solved it ever. And
so
I'm sure I could probably mix this up all day and you'd still be able to fix it in 3 seconds.
Yeah. So what you'll notice about that puzzle is that it doesn't turn. If you've ever,
it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Compared to the ones I had growing up.
Twisted a really old, 1980s, 1990s Rubik's Cube, they don't turn very well because
this spins really easily.
So those puzzles were made more as a toy versus
and they were just stickers on them.
Yeah. So
when I was a kid, we would take the stickers off and solve it that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'll notice as well, this puzzle has stickers on it, but you'll notice they start to peel.
Oh, yeah.
The more that I turn Rubik's Cubes, the more the stickers peel off. And not only does it harm the cube, it harms my nails too.
Sure.
So you'll see my nails aren't, they hurt sometimes, but but so now there's a lot of different companies all over the world who make Rubik's Cubes for speed solving, and they
smooth as butter, babe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's also, you'll notice there's little magnets in each piece. So if you do a turn really slow, so that's for, if I'm turning, I turn right around 7-8 turns per second. So I'm turning really, really quickly, and the magnets help me have the cube snap into place.
So what are you looking at when you're doing this?
So I've gotten to the point now where there's many different methods to solve a Rubik's Cube. all of the methods pretty much factor around moving pieces to their correct slots. So if you'll notice, there's 6 different colors on this cube, and each side has one centerpiece. And I know that that's the side that needs to be solved. So I know that this has a white sticker in the center. So I know this is the white side. Same with this. This is the green side because there's a green sticker in the center. So I know that there needs to be white here and green here. So I need to find one piece on the cube that has both white and green. And I'll look around and I see it's right here. It has both green and white. So that's this piece. And I know it needs to come here. So I'll figure out a way to move it right here. And then I'll basically find other pieces and stick them around to their slots until each slot has been correctly placed.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, I need to solve one side at a time, but you're actually solving different pieces.
Okay.
Because a Rubik's Cube isn't made up of stickers. It's actually made up of different pieces. And I'll take this guy apart so you can see it better. So there are 2 different types of pieces on a Rubik's Cube. There are the edge pieces, which, here's one. This is the yellow and orange edge. And they go in between the centers on this edge part. And then you have the corner piece as well, which this is the yellow, orange, and green corner. And it goes right on the corner right here. So this is a corner piece as well. And there are 8 corner pieces I need to solve and 12 edge pieces I need to solve. So many different methods. There's many different methods people use. There's CFOP, RU, ZZ. Those are all just different names people have come up with. But the way they differ is they differ in the order of the pieces you're solving. So I'm basically looking around. I use the method CFOP. So my first step would be to solve 4 cross piece edges. So I can go ahead and do that. So now I have made 4 of this little cross here. My next step is to get the bottom 2 layers, or called the first 2 layers, or F2L. And this is the longest step. So now I have built this first 2 layers here. My next step is orienting the last layer, or OLL. Well, I will solve this top color. So I need to solve all the yellow pieces to the top. And I have learned 57 different algorithms to do that. And then my last step is PLL, or permuting the last layer, where I basically solve all these remaining pieces. And there are 21 different algorithms that I need to learn to do that. So after you do those 4 steps,
you didn't even look at it.
Solved your cube. So if you want to go ahead and scramble it, I can do a quick solve.
All right.
And that basic principle applies.
I feel like I'm not even good at scrambling.
The fun thing about scrambling it is you can.
No, that's what he wants us to time him and see if he can do it as fast as possible. Like,
So-
what's your record right now?
So my official best is 4.98 seconds. I was the 188th person to ever officially solve one under 5 seconds. But competitions are scored on average time. So you do 5 solves. Your best and worst time get thrown away, and your 3 middle ones are averaged together. The reason that happens is, let's say someone got a really, really bad solve and they messed up. You don't want that really bad time ruining the rest of your average, and vice versa for a really good time. You don't want it to inflate your average if, you didn't,
Makes sense.
the rest of your times weren't that. So your 3 middle times are averaged together. So my fastest official average is 7.27 seconds.
That's crazy.
Thank you. But so that principle of solving the pieces in their order applies to pretty much any other puzzle. We have the 4x4 here. This puzzle has 3 different piece types. You have your 6x6 that has like 6 or 7 different piece types. So
do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one sister. Is
she into this too?
She can solve the 2x2. But
How old is she?
she is 15.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and I've
Are
gotten
you teaching her?
I've been trying to teach her how to get the 3x3. We're getting closer. Yeah.
I don't know if this is like up to like being a challenge for you.
Well,
but
so
let's see
the interesting thing is any Rubik's Cube can be solved in 20 moves or less. So if you scramble, you could sit there and scramble it for hours, or you could do 20 turns, and the scramble will be the same. Yeah, same complication.
Okay, you got the timer ready?
Timer's ready.
Okay, you ready?
So I'm going to take a second or two to look at it, and then when I start turning, if you want to start the timer.
Okay. you want me to count down?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I'll let you know when I'm ready, and then you can count down.
When you're ready.
All right, you ready?
3, 2, 1.
Thanks.
So,
Seconds.
how long was it?
9 seconds.
9 seconds. Yeah, that was
Thanks.
so. I'm not warmed up right now. It's just like any other sport. You do need to warm yourself up. So my brain and hands aren't warmed up right now. So it's a
That
little
was
slower than.
impressive, man. That was really cool.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
you have won. Tell us about your championships. What titles do you currently carry right now?
So I have achieved right around 40 West Virginia state records. So I was the first person to solve a Rubik's Cube from West Virginia under 5 seconds officially. First person to do it one-handed under 10 seconds. That's another one of my best events is turning it with one hand. This puzzle is actually my best event. This is called a square one. It's the only event that shape shifts. So you can see it's lost its shape outside of being a cube. My highest ever rank on this puzzle in the world was 93rd. For reference, there's about 250,000 people who have ever competed in Rubik's Cube solving. So
I did some research. I looked on the website.
Yeah.
I like a little rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa, there's
Yeah.
a lot going on here that I had no idea.
yeah,
about.
it's a huge
whole
community.
world.
It's a whole, really, it's a whole world. I placed 9th this year at the Cubing USA Mid-Atlantic Championship,
Okay.
which is the region from West Virginia all the way up to New York. So all the top solvers we gathered in Richmond, Virginia this year. And we had a pretty big competition, and I was pretty proud of myself to place 9th. I wanted to place higher, getting on the podium would have been nice, but I did a little reflection after the competition and imagined my 11-year-old self seeing me solve a Rubik's Cube in 6 seconds, and that made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, you should
But
be very proud.
the title I'm most proud of is being a WCA delegate. So the WCA, or the World Cube Association, is the organization that organizes all competitions around the entire world. And they promote certain people to the position of delegate, and their role is basically overseeing all competitions that happen to make sure they're fair, they're correctly organized, that there's no cheating going on, just stuff like that. And there's about 400 or so. I might be a little incorrect on that number, but I believe it's right around 400 delegates in the world. 1 or 2 per region. So I was the first person from West Virginia to be promoted to that title, which basically gives me the ability to organize competitions in West Virginia. And I'm really excited to grow the West Virginia cubing community. I think it's an amazing hobby that, everyone, if you don't get really, really good at it, that's totally fine. But I think at least learning how to solve one is super beneficial for people. Yeah, it's a great brain sport. And
it seems like, I'm enjoying
it's
just
so
learning
fun.
about it.
It's so
All
much
just
fun.
listening to you. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah,
I see
it's
your
awesome.
shirt says
Yes,
WCA
so-
North American Championship.
I went to Minneapolis this summer. I got to compete at the North American Championship.
I didn't do great. I've definitely done better at championships, but it was just a great experience, and getting to see so many people, meet so many people from around the continent was so much fun.
I bet.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
So what are the next steps? Like, what's the next plan here?
So I am going to college in a couple months. I'm headed to Ohio University.
Okay.
And I'm majoring in.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And I'm majoring in international business.
Okay.
So my goal is to, well, obviously, college will be the priority, and making sure I'm continuing to better my academics, and I want to meet as many people from around the world as possible, but I'd like to compete and organize competitions all around the world. I love introducing my hobby, my talent to people all around the world.
Passion.
And, yeah, my passion.
Yeah.
And meeting people is from all around the world is definitely something I want to continue to do throughout my whole life, and I think this pretty niche hobby will allow me to do that.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So do they have like anything associated with your high school or college or anything with Rubik's? Or
So
not
some high
really?
schools and colleges do have, unofficial Rubik's Cube clubs. Mine doesn't. I go to a smaller high school, so there's not many people who I don't think would join one. But there are some. I know University of Maryland is a big big cubing school. There's a lot of, they have a pretty big Rubik's Cube club. Ohio State's another one. So I'll be competing with them at Ohio University.
Right.
But there's not necessarily any like leagues that people join. It's not a sport in that sense.
It's really interesting because, I mean, I've obviously seen Rubik's Cubes my whole life.
Yeah.
But never knew that there was like a whole world of like, competition out there for it. So, very cool.
Yeah, the first competition was in 1982.
That's when I was born.
Really?
I was born in 1982.
Yeah, and then there wasn't another one again until 2003 when the World Cube Association was founded. So then after 2003 is when it's kind of became, you know, a sport, if you will.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You're so knowledgeable about this. It's definitely your passion.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's
No,
your calling.
I love
So
doing it.
Keep going.
Love introducing it to people. And yeah, I'm excited. If you want, one day I can teach you how to do it on an episode.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I feel like I already learned and am inspired. I'm going to have to go get one now because I don't even think I own one right now.
Oh, you need
And
to.
I need to find one like this, not the ones with the stickers, because this feels totally different than the ones I'm used to. So
yeah, and it's really great. The stickers, you don't have to deal with the peeling stickers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost Christmas. I mean, I would encourage parents to buy your kids a Rubik's Cube.
Absolutely.
It's like a great way to pass some time, no technology, great for their
100%.
brain, good for math and logical reasoning and problem solving.
Yeah, and if they're into it, I would recommend going to a competition, you know. Even if they don't even learn how to solve one, just go and watch one.
Sure. Take
part. They're great. They're great environments. You know, everyone's so friendly. Everybody's there for the same reason, you know. The word competition is used, but it's more about bettering yourself. For the longest time, I wasn't even anywhere close to podiuming or winning competitions, you know, but I would continue to go to them just to beat my own time. The whole thing about it was, I'm not trying to beat you, I'm trying to beat myself. And I think that's a really great great experience for kids and adults alike to be able to really sit down and not necessarily feel like, oh, I need to beat you to win. Winning for me is beating myself. And, you know, if I go to a competition this week and I do not so great, I can go back the next week and say, hey, I just want to beat myself from last week, or I want to beat my personal record that I set in May. You know, that's something I've been chasing for a while now, is beating my own personal record. And, you know, there'll be times I'll place first at a competition, but I'm not happy with how I did. And then there'll be other times where I'll place, you know, 100th, but I'll be like, oh, I got a new best. And that's what I wanted. And so I'm chasing beating myself, which I think is really great. And I think a lot of people can learn from that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's why I like golf, honestly.
Yeah.
Like golf is kind of like that.
Golf
like,
is
you practice it and it's a
yeah.
mind game, and it's like something you can, you know, you can go out and play the same course 100 times and it's a different game every time, and it's your game against yourself against your last round, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's pretty cool. Well, you have an amazing mindset for a young man. I have to say that. And I'm sure this is not going to be the first time or the last time you're on camera in other places too. I've seen you on camera, but you don't have social media right now. Right?
I not currently. No, okay. I've never been one to like outwardly post my own social media, but I would love to work with, if there's people who, you know, want me to work with their brand or work with, you know, their business or whatever. I'd love to help, you know, either promote your brand or just, you know, be there and help, or, you know, I love introducing my hobby to the world, and whatever way I can do that, whether it's getting on a podcast or doing an ad read or whatever, you know, whatever someone needs, I'd love to help out with that.
Sure. I could see you doing like an advertisement, like, we deliver pizza faster than
Brian
can solve a Rubik's Cube.
There's an idea.
You know?
There's an idea.
Like that. I like that. Cool. Well, let me think. I'll think about that. Definitely. I'll keep you in mind. I do a lot of commercials and stuff with people, and always looking for creative ideas.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
For
It's a
reaching out
to be
for
here.
me, obviously.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you in person.
Yes.
I just met you for the first time
Yes.
tonight. So it's really good to meet you.
Not fake.
And
this was a
real deal.
Genuine first conversation.
Yeah. Great job on the show tonight.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on all your success, and I'm hoping to see more of what you got going on. Stay in
excited.
touch.
Will do.
Definitely keep us posted.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. I guess that's it for tonight. Keep it strange and have a good evening.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to Strange Famous Frederick, hosted by me, Caroline Hutchison. Produced by Medina Media Productions. Audio by Frederick Recording Studio and Robin Smith Productions. Video by Beaver Enterprise Group. Sponsored by Sweet Buds Dispensary, My Salon Suite, and Maryland Windows, Doors, and Roofs. Visit us online at strangefamousshow.com.
Do you have a favorite foreign language?
No.
Good luck. Yes. That's crazy.
Don't.
Yeah, get that.